Hi everybody, Hank Irwin. I'm over at my home church here in Pelham, First Baptist Church, to not only enjoy a good worship service, but also, like many of you today, ask that compelling question: how do you explain a massacre at a movie theater? That's on the minds of so many people all over America, and I believe only the church can give you the answer. Let me let you meet my good pastor and good friend, Dr. Mike Shaw, and hear what he has to say. First Baptist Church holds 3 services every Sunday morning, all guided by praise and worship and strong sermons based on the Scriptures. All right, I'm with my pastor, the great Dr. Mike Shaw, pastor First Baptist Church in Pelham. And Pastor, I just wanted to ask you the question that is being asked all over the country today, and that's: how do we explain Colorado?
Well, Hank, you have to go all the way back to creation. The Bible says when God created the world, He created one man and one woman, and they fell from God's grace because they disobeyed God. They were living in a state of innocence, and they disobeyed God and fell into sin. And since the fall into sin, all of us are born with a sin nature. And in fact, the very first man who was born to Adam and Eve murdered his own brother in a fight over worship. So things like happened in Colorado are not new. They have been happening literally since the dawn of the human race. Now, what we do about it is, I think there are 2 things. First of all, we empower people to protect us. The Bible says God has ordained authorities to enforce laws that protect innocent people. And we need to empower our police officers, our first responders, to be able to enforce the laws of man that would not allow this to happen. And then we do need to be prepared. I mean, we have a plan here at church that if something like that were to happen, we know exactly what we'll do. We have armed officers outside our church on Sunday morning directing traffic. They could be here in a heartbeat. But you have to plan for things like that, hoping they never happen. But another reason is we don't do what God has told us to do. After the flood, God gave a command to Noah in a covenant that predates the law that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai. That says, whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. Now that doesn't mean retribution. It means a trial, and a person's found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And then the powers, the state, the authority, have the ability to take that man's life away. When we have people like the man who committed this atrocity in Colorado, who will go through trial after trial after trial and either be sentenced to life in a mental institution or life in prison, that's really not punishment. The people whose lives he took, their lives ended when he took their life. He'll continue to live and live fairly comfortably. He won't have freedom, but he'll probably live in an air-conditioned jail cell and probably have all of his meals brought to him, have dental care and physical care from doctors and in a prison hospital somewhere. His life outside the walls is going to end, but he could still live on for a long time. And he's not really being punished. You know, God was the one who said, if you forfeit a man's life by shedding his blood, he said the life is in the blood, which is why it's important for us to remember. Jesus shed his blood that we could have spiritual life, and the shedding of innocent blood, because these people were there for a night of enjoyment at a movie theater, and they never expected to have that happen. But again, we live in a sin-cursed world, and this man is just another example of what sin does. The Bible says, lust, when it has conceived, bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And so you see that in this incident, and it's tragic. My heart goes out to the families of the victims who died and to the victims who are still wounded. And we need to teach people that life is sacred. It's a gift from God. Only God has the power to give or take life, except when God says if you kill someone, the government has the authority to take your life because you forfeited your right to live. I know that's not politically correct, but I'm telling people what the Bible says, not what's politically correct or acceptable today.
You know, I think people feel more helpless today than ever before when they see stuff like that on TV. How do you encourage people? What are some steps of safety nowadays in a world full of evil?
Well, you keep your eyes open. For example, you go into a building, you look around, see where the exits are. You also watch for anything out of the ordinary. And of course, This man had planned this for some time. He had his apartment set up as a booby trap for the police. He chose the night when this movie, which was a very popular movie, was being premiered. He knew the theater would be full. He went in, bought a ticket, propped the door open, went outside, got his stuff, came in and started shooting. He planned meticulously to do that. We need to at least be precautionary, look around, learn to be observant. For example, you know, people that go to malls sometimes get robbed, and police will tell them, you know, if you pay attention to your surroundings, you can't prevent it, but you can be more aware of what's going on. And in this world, we live in a sin-cursed world, and we need to be aware. The Bible says we're to be as wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And then, like I said, we need to have a plan of action. Sometimes you just need to get out of harm's way. Sometimes you need to take cover. You know, sometimes you just need to confront it. And that's, you know, it's a hard thing to do, but as pastor of church, if anything like that ever happened here, I would have to confront the person. You know, I'm going to heaven when I die. I'm not afraid of death. I don't have a death wish, but I love my people, and I would gladly lay down my life for my people. I hope it never comes to that, but if it does, I'm willing. I've already decided in my mind, if that ever happens, that's what I would do. But you need to be ready, be prepared, kind of look around, because this is a wicked, wicked world. And a lot of people are criminally insane, or they're on drugs, or maybe drunk, and they're going to do things. So we just need to keep our eyes wide open. But the most important thing, and I will say this, and I'll be through, we need to have faith in God, that no matter what happens to us, God is bigger than any problem we'll ever face, even death. God has said, I will be with you. I will be your guide, even unto death. Be prepared for death, because it is inevitable, whether it happens in a movie theater in Colorado, whether it happens in your bed at home at night in your sleep. Death is going to come. And my advice to everybody is, if you're not really prepared to die, you're not really prepared to live. So make ready for eternity, because eternity is coming.
First Baptist Church is located on Highway 31 in Pelham, Alabama.